Hi friend, I'm twin number 3, also known as Jonathan. Thank you so much for checking out this video. Recently I made a couple of videos about dreams I had about the goddess and then an experience. This video is about a second set of dreams that followed those. These dreams were similar to the goddess ones in that there was no storyline, no action, usually just a single word. Unlike the goddess dreams, the second set of dreams occurred over a shorter period of time, and they were much more specific. Every single dream pointed to Antinous. Antinous was the beloved of the Roman Emperor Hadrian. They had a long-term relationship, and in the year 130, they were touring the Roman Empire. While they were in what we now call Libya, there was a very close call. They had been hunting a lion that had been killing people. The lion nearly killed Antinous, and Hadrian stepped in at the last moment and killed the lion. It's said that red flowers sprung forth miraculously from the lion's blood. They then went on to Egypt, and while they were ascending the Nile in a boat, Antinous was drowned. Hadrian was absolutely grief-stricken. However, several events occurred that led Hadrian to deify Antinous. Sometime later, a supernova occurred in a part of the sky that was astrologically relevant to Antinous and Hadrian. This seemed to confirm the deity status of Antinous. The religion of Antinous became very popular. Well, as I said, I had a series of dreams about Antinous, and most of these dreams were fairly clear and direct. I'll tell you about one though. This one was a bit esoteric and maybe even playful. The entire dream consisted of only one word, scutum. This is a word I'd never heard before. So I ran a search online, and it turns out it's the name of a constellation. The constellation Scutum is quite unusual in that it was formed relatively late in the 17th century. The word means shield, and it's named for a Polish king who was instrumental in the Battle of Vienna in defeating the invasion of the Ottomans. Now, more recently I've read some things that conflict with what I'm about to tell you, but what I initially found in a search was that since the constellation Scutum was a new constellation, it could only be formed by scavenging stars from classical constellations, and the main constellation casualty in forming Scutum was Antinous. So this dream was a bit roundabout, but it still ended up going back to Antinous. I mention this particular dream because it raises some questions. Who would know these kinds of things? Who would be the source of these dreams? These are certainly not things that I ever read or heard about. They're not coming from my memory, at least not in this lifetime. Those dreams occurred several years ago. There has been a renewal of activity though. Most nights I do something that's kind of a combination of meditation and prayer. Often when I do this, there are brief images that just float by. Starting last fall, very often I would see what looks like the Latin letter A, sometimes upright, sometimes turned on its side. One night I saw the letters D-E-A. Well, I knew that in Latin this is goddess, and I thought maybe this was a signal of a recurrence of some kind of contact with the goddess. However, the letters were in Greek characters, all capitals. I could not find any Greek word spelled like that, and so it made me doubt that this was really any kind of connection with a goddess. About a month after that, I was following the script to a guided meditation. The goal of the meditation was to reach one's highest self. The beginning of the meditation was very structured. It was then open-ended so that upon reaching one's higher self, the message would be whatever it was. There would be no prompting from the meditation itself. So I went through the meditation and ended up at a gathering with a lot of people there at night, some kind of festival. someone came up to greet me, and it was Dionysus. Dionysus then led me to a second person, Eros, who then led me to a third person, Antinous. Well, there you have it. Dionysus, Eros, Antinous, DEA. Now, I've never really studied mythology much at all, so meeting any of these characters was a surprise. My impression was that the purpose of these meetings was basically an introduction. There was no information really conveyed. I had the impression that there would be contacts in the future. There are a couple of more things I might add too. When I'm doing these meditations and see the images, from time to time I see Antinous. There are very many sculptures of Antinous and busts, and this is Antinous, but not looking like a marble sculpture, instead with normal skin color, normal hair, in other words, a living being. I also see something that's elongated and upright. It took me a little while to figure out what this was, but just recently I saw a photograph of the obelisk of Antinous, and I think that's what it was. So there you have it, a second set of dreams about Antinous, and then a series of images in meditation. I don't know, what do you think? Do these constitute a call from Antinous? Are they just interesting phenomena of consciousness? If it's consciousness, are these reflections of the collective unconscious or conscious minds? Have you had any experiences like this? If you have any thoughts about this, I very much appreciate hearing them. Thank you so much for listening. I hope things are going well for you. Take care, blessed be, and be blessed. I'm twin number 3.